Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you've been enjoying Valorant as much as I have, whether you're playing or watching the closed beta. But in the days that I've been playing the game since beta launch, I've offhandedly mentioned mechanics and features to teammates or even friends, and it happens pretty much every game. People just don't know a lot of these tips, so I've compiled a lot of things that every player really should know, but the game just doesn't tell you. So let's start blasting through these tips, starting with the ping system. Yeah, somehow the game just doesn't tell you this in the tutorial, but you can ping with Z. I'm sure you can work out why this is important, especially if you're someone who's not using a mic, but for many players who are new right now and don't know the callouts of each map, pinging is a fantastic crutch to start you out. Ping where the enemy are pushing, or ping where you want to attack. That's always going to be useful, but forever useful is the ability to ping the spike if you kill the carrier, which will show where it is on the map so your team know where it is for a good while after it drops. It's crazy how many players just don't know they can ping things in this game and how actually insanely useful it is. The next tip is extremely useful for fast rotations. Your footsteps make a set amount of sound when you're running. It passes through walls unimpeded, which makes it really easy to work out where you are once I've heard you. Being careful about your sound when rotating to a different push or defense is quite key to keeping the element of surprise. To help you, you can see the range of your sound every time you move in a circle around you on the minimap. This way you can keep track of who can hear you on the other side of walls or not when running and position accordingly. And with that, you're also able to see abilities on the minimap too. Take Hanzo, Sova, who has a sonar arrow to reveal enemies in an area. Both teams can see the location and range of that arrow, or more importantly, let's say you're aiming his ultimate, you can actually see on the map the exact length and width of each arrow shot before you even fire, allowing you to carefully line up sick doubles like this one I did. This works the same for many abilities, not just ultimates, like positioning smoke bombs on Omen, so use that map. Now let's properly talk about ultimates. Ultis have different charges. You can check who has what and how close they are in the scoreboard, but you can also do that for the enemy team, so you can see what ults they're close to or what they've got, and you can expect and be prepared for what they're going to use next round. There's many ways to generate ultimate points or charge. Each round completion gets you closer to your ultimate, but you also get ulti points from kills, a death, spike plants, spike diffuses, or the orbs on the map. If you haven't noticed, black orbs are set in different locations of each map during the round. If you walk up to one and hold the channel, you snag yourself an extra ulti charge. This is quite important because there's always a set amount of black orbs on the map in set locations, including in the buy phase where your team is gifted one at spawn. Naturally, when you're with randoms, they'll just take it or don't even know it's a thing and ignore it. But if you can, you should be funneling these orbs into characters like Sage for the revive or other important ultimates. Here's a tip that I personally found very important while learning the game. An insane amount of walls can be shot through in Valorant, known as wall banging. Obviously, not every wall can be shot through, but man, so many can when they seem like you can't. To know which walls you can shoot through, just check the visual indicator when you shoot. A clear bullet hole appears where you shot through a surface, while that bullet hole isn't there on a surface you shot that isn't wall bangable. Generally, wood surfaces are quite easy to shoot through. Valorant does make use of armored walls that can be broken to reveal the wood underneath, then you can bullet pen those walls. So far though, that's only here on Haven at the garage doors. I imagine in future maps they're going to include this mechanic more though. A random tip is that there isn't any noticeable punishment for hanging still on ropes, which allows a pixel peek surprise kill on enemies often, so make use of that if you can. Let's talk gadgets and characters in general next. All characters have a signature ability which is default bound to E, which starts with a free use each round. Some even get 2 uses for free, or some get 1 which recharges over time, or you recharge it by getting kills. For example, Jett needs 2 kills to recharge her dash, and Sage recharges her heal ability over the duration of the round. While gadgets and other utility require purchases each round, many of them can actually be picked back up after you've placed them if you threw it in a wrong place or just want to relocate. If it's something that requires activation via you or an enemy's proximity, you can usually walk up and pick that back up again. Examples of that would be Viper's nades or Cypher's camera or tripwires. Random tip, you can throw your gun into the teleporters to trick enemies into thinking there's someone in there. So you can just throw your pistol in there and it'll make a loud sound, and then the enemy will think there's someone camping that room and they'll sit waiting for you to come out, but there's no one in there. Another random tip, you unlock characters by progressing contracts. You unlock contracts after you get your first 2-3 agents. They just give you 2 for playing the game a little bit, but after that it will take a lot longer to unlock characters. So you need to choose a specific contract and then earn general XP by just playing games, which will then go to towards your contract of choice. You can also get skins and such this way too. Each contract comes in 2 stages. Stage 1, which is levels 1 to 5, and Stage 2, which is levels 6 to 10. When you unlock a character via these free unlocks or you buy one, you instantly get levels 1 to 5 because at level 5, you get the character. Whereas 6 to 10 are the more interesting ones like icons, sprays, and skins. So if you're trying to unlock all the characters, like pretty much all of us, you need to focus each contract until it reaches level 5, unlock that agent, then move on to another contract. Again, it's really slow, so you need to be doing this as soon as possible. Okay, that's it for all the general tips that the game doesn't tell you. Now let's talk about agent-specific ones, because man, it just doesn't tell you this in the descriptions of the abilities, and I don't know, man, the tutorial in general needs work, but where are character-specific tutorials? They need including. Starting with Phoenix, you can heal yourself as Phoenix with any of your own fire abilities, not just Molly, which you probably know, but the wall also heals you too. This can keep you alive during a fight, or you can heal up after a fight. A clever trick is to use your flash to curve it through your own wall and not blind yourself, because the wall provides line of sight. Then you walk through the wall. It will often catch people out early in a round, and the wall heals you so you can heal up during that fight. You can actually curve that firewall too. If you hold the firewall ability as you throw it and then use the mouse to curve it in whichever direction you want, you can position a wall without exposing yourself before you do it. You can put your back to flashbangs, which will still blind you but for a much less duration, which could save you against a Phoenix pushing you. Lastly, his ultimate consumes shields if you die, leaving you without any shields after you come back to yourself. So don't be one of those stupid Phoenixes who wastes ulti to just run into the whole enemy team and then die and then come back with no shields and be an easy kill after that. Next, we have Sage. Sage can boost herself or allies with the wall, using it to bypass smokes or terrain, which is great because she can actually configure the angle of the wall on a 360 axis if you hold right click while moving it. Whatever axis you configure the wall to place, it will be ready to be placed in that same axis the next time you pull the wall out. Her wall lasts 40 seconds before it's destroyed, which is insanely long. The moment an enemy places this wall, just take note of the round timer so you know when this wall will expire. Now let's talk Jet. Jet can glide if you hold space while in the air. This is her passive. This floating makes your weapon accuracy basically 0 though. Your bullets will just go in completely random directions while you're floating. She can also stick her smoke bombs to terrain, so like against a wall, letting you block off line of sight without exposing yourself. Or you can hold the smoke bomb key and turn the path of the smoke as you throw it to throw it around corners too. Finally, Jet's ultimate does not feel the negative effects of floating or her dashes, so you can be extremely mobile with really no downsides during a fight when you've got this ultimate active. Up next is Cypher. You can only see enemy Cypher tripwires when you're walking, slow walking. You can't see it when you're running, so you should take it slow and find them before they trap you when you're looking for a flank or pushing into sight. You can actually shoot these tripwires out before it explodes to help yourself or a teammate who's been caught in one. When you're walking through an enemy Cypher's cage, it actually plays a sound effect to alert enemies that you're in there. So you'll often see Cyphers combining cages and their tripwires to easily kill you while you're stuck in there. While on the spy cam, Cypher can activate his cage traps from any distance. That spy cam will be invisible until it's active when Cypher's using it, and then it's revealed. So if you're Cypher, try avoid being on the camera for more than a brief moment to keep it alive. Also, if you somehow don't know, the camera can shoot darts that reveal enemies if it hits them. Now some quickfire ones on multiple characters. Brimstone's combat stim provides an area buff for higher fire rate, which enemies can actually walk on and use for themselves. It's a pretty terrible ability though, don't waste your money buying it. It might matter in the future when they buff it or change it, which they certainly will. Viper's ultimate, the Cloud, only remains active if she stays in it. Otherwise, it drops if she isn't in it for more than a few seconds. And her wall ability is outrageously long and can be thrown up and over terrain and over walls, which allows for clever pushes or defense, blocking line of sight with those walls. Omen can use his smoke clouds through walls. He can throw it through terrain. Similar to Viper's wall, this can be used for a clever push onto sight if you're blocking off common locations with it. And now, finally, and most importantly, Raze is broken. Why does one character have the best utility in every slot? Riot, please fix. Alright, there you go. There's a bunch of stuff that the game just doesn't tell you outright when it really should, because you need to know these. If there's any tips that you know that I didn't include in this video, then please leave it in the comments and help someone out. Hit the like button if this video helped you, and share the tips or the video. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you in the next Valorant video.